Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Carnival of Randomness on the Road, and we're desperately trying to bring a little clash to the podcast. I mean, with Zach, how can you? But
y'all can't see this, but the middle finger's up.
But we're at what I consider the finest restaurant in Rochester, and yes, Zach would say Waldo's hot dogs, but we're at Avvino, and we're glad to have Janine and Ben here.
Hello. Say hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Want to give us a little background about yourself and this and that?
Sure. My name is Janine Wasley, and I own a restaurant called Avvino. We're in Brighton on Monroe Avenue. I've been in the restaurant business 21 years, and I absolutely love it. I've done pretty much every job in the business. Ben and I met about, 12 years? 15 years ago.
Something like that.
We worked together at Mac's Chop House for a very long time, and
5 years.
Yeah, when we opened here, he came on over, and we've been a team ever since.
Let's see, something, Ben?
Absolutely. Been working for Janine for 5 years at Mac's Chop House. We had a really good team over there, and when she left, we were a little bummed. But when we found out she was opening up a new spot, I was flattered that she gave me an opportunity. 7-year itch over there at Mac's Chop House, and come over here and work a little harder and put our best foot forward. And the bull wheel is turning. We're definitely reaping the rewards of our hard work. So, I'm really happy that Janine opened this place and made it a home for us as a family here at Avvino.
And I have to say, I've known you how many years? Amazingly long.
Probably the same amount
and
of time.
And I'm glad you said your last name, because I really didn't know how to pronounce it the right way. But one of the things I was going to say is I was asked one time when I got you a birthday present years ago, I asked Stephanie back in Dublin, and I asked what to get for you, and she said she likes food. So I think that was what she said.
Yes.
And after that, I wonder, why restaurant? What got you interested in doing this?
I like taking care of people. It feels really good to give someone a good hospitality experience, and everyone's lives are really crazy and busy, and there's a lot going on, especially in the state of our administration right now. But when people walk into the restaurant here, they kind of shut off for an hour or two, and I love that ability to just let people relax and forget about their problems for a little bit and have some good food and drink.
And anybody, and certainly you're going to come down here, but I think it's beautiful in here. And
no, it is. And this is one of these places I've driven by it a lot, never actually been in.
It's in a strange location on Monroe. It's a convenient location because it's right off 590.
Yeah, it's right off the.
But it's tucked back from the road a bit, so unless you kind of know that you're looking for it, you can miss it.
Well, it's the thing, because he'd mentioned it in the past. Every time I drive by, I'm like, oh, there's Avvino.
Yeah.
Because I always say you have to get something.
Well, and look, he told me to look at the menu, and oh my God, it looked good.
Well, yes.
It looked really
but then now,
good.
you know my weird segues. Okay, we talked about the menu. Now, pro wrestler J.J. Dillon, this will make sense in a minute.
Oh, God.
He talks about he talks about putting together a wrestling card. Now, you have it this way and this way, so you have the drama. Is there a way to put a menu together to have a really good dining experience?
You want to have something for everyone. For us, it's about balance. We want to have fun with it and have some really unique things. We also want to have utilize ingredients that are local. And then there's something we call the fourth guest. There's some people that are not super adventurous, and we want to have kind of some, more traditional dishes for them.
Well, that's like when my dad's here, it's the Avvino burger, and I'm yelling at him every time.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has different palates, and especially with dietary restrictions these days, gluten-free and dairy-free and nut-free, and people are on keto and all these crazy diets. Exactly.
I don't want to know. I heard the probiotic one when I picked up something at the pharmacy, and I said, I do yoga, leave me alone. I know this.
But we deal with the general public, and it is important that we create something for everyone. And it's the same with our wine list and our cocktail program. It's not just what I like. It's giving... Hi, Charlie. Everyone say hi to Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi, Rocca.
Good morning.
I love these live ones.
That's like, you never know what's going to happen. But.
Charlie owns regional distributing, so he takes care of all of our paper products.
But when you were saying about the people that may not have adventurous palates, that reminds me of something somebody said. It's the 2/3 rule. If you can get them familiar and comfortable with 2 out of 3 ingredients, they'll more than likely try it.
That's a good rule.
Or I have the bar rule.
Yeah.
If you have enough at the bar, you'll try it and you won't even know.
Well, yeah, but like if you think, because it was a guy
who
was pitching the health benefits actually of eating insects. So he would a banana with peanut butter and fried ants. So they know what a banana is. They know what peanut butter is. It's like, okay, I'll try it
Yeah.
because it's.
I think that would apply to most people.
And sometimes you see on menus nowadays, well, okay, here's a protein, here's this, here's that, and everything. But also, talking about drinks, you are a sommelier. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, I'm a
Sommelier.
sommelier, yes. I'm a
yeah.
professional wine alcoholic.
So are all of us, pretty much.
Not wine,
I just,
but other things.
I have a certification, so yeah.
I know, because I always ask you to recommend wines. Do you have, like, pretty much favorites here? Or do you just try to do a balance?
Yeah, again, it's all about balance. And with the wine list, it's picking out wines that go well with the food. Again, though, we try to find really kind of interesting varietals and regions. And we try to support Constellation brands as much as we can as well, being a local company, Finger Lakes Wine. So it's all about balance.
I've had that thing in my head, too, where before I've gotten expensive wines. Literally, one of them I got one place, tasted like tin.
Yeah.
And I always say, you don't have to get anything really pricey for it to be good.
Not at all.
You always hear the thing that the second most expensive bottle is the best. Is there any truth to that from
Yeah.
a restaurateur's perspective?
Absolutely.
Is it?
You know, if you go to the liquor store, the bottles that are between $13 and $20 are
Yeah.
usually good values. The more expensive the wines get, the more complex sometimes they are, the more rare they are.
And I'm wondering if there's just like the kind of a snooty factor, I guess. Like, oh, look what I have.
That's part of it.
Well, there's one. Have you ever read Peter Miles' book? No, it's called The Good Years. The movie by Russell Crowe is really bad. But what happens in the book, these guys, they die and the help inherits the vineyard. And they bring someone who doesn't know anything. What they're doing is they're ripping off people by basically taking the noble rot and everything and saying it's this really expensive wine for $300,000. And because it's rare, everybody's buying this crap.
Yeah. No, that definitely happens.
I think it comes down to perceived value.
Yeah.
I'll make an example of Pappy Van Winkle, which is a pretty sought-after bourbon.
Pappy.
And it's the old adage, if you ever saw Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come.
Right.
I will transpose it to, if you charge it, they will pay it, I feel like sometimes, just because of the perceived value there. It's a great bourbon.
Oh, it is.
There's
I love
other great
Pappy.
bourbons out there that aren't as expensive, and I think it carries over to wine as well. Sure, you can get an Opus One or Sassicaia or some big wine that has become very popular. I think that is a lot of times why it drives up the price and the allocation. They only make so much of it, and it's highly sought after. But there are a lot of great wines out there for 30, 40, 50
The other
bucks.
thing too is you seem to travel a bit too, and you bring some of the foods like from there. Does that influence what you have here? Because
Yeah.
I love your travel pictures.
We travel as much as possible. It's just being in another place and trying their food and their wine and experiencing their culture, even breathing the air in different locations. It's very inspiring. We won't necessarily steal ideas, but you might get inspired by trying a different varietal that you've never had before, or seeing the plating of a certain food. They're like, oh, that's really interesting.
That's one of the things I found about here too, as well, is I think there is, as you said, when you come here, there is something for everyone.
We
Because
try,
there really
yeah.
is. Because if you look at the menu, it's really eclectic. It's
Yeah.
not like you go somewhere. It's okay, this one thing in 14 different ways
Right.
and everything.
Yes.
And I
You're
know
right. A lot of Italian restaurants, they have chicken piccata, chicken French, chicken whatever. And it's just the same breaded chicken breast with 10 different sauces.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's the same thing. And
Yeah.
the other one was, some of the people shouldn't be afraid to try eclectic. Like, I'll give a shout out to Moondog Dave, who you know very well, and he's been here. My friend Dave, he loves the octopus here, and he said he went to Greece and he had it, not New York, the
Yes.
country, and he had it
I
there.
didn't
He said
think
it was.
Greece,
It
New
was.
York was renowned for its seafood industry.
Who knows? We
No
don't-
apologies to Greece.
We have the Erie Canal, I guess, if you're safe enough. But he said it was better than what he had in Greece.
Nice.
And we were very bummed because it was sold out last time.
Well,
we were
No.
there.
That's
We-
one of the
we
dishes
sell
that we
a lot
can't
of
take off the
octopus.
menu,
It
but
is,
it
yeah.
but it's also an item that will scare people. It's
See,
octopus.
if I could eat
It's
it, I would
actual-
try it. Because
No,
I'm
it's
allergic to seafood, so I
scary,
can't
yeah.
eat it.
Oh no.
What is-
But it's one of those things, if I could eat it, I would try it for sure.
Yeah.
What is the oddest food you've seen, like, come across, like, experience, like, with this? Something weird? Anything?
Right now we have veal tongue downstairs, and we have a pig's heart that they're curing. So they'll take some of the offal meats and do some interesting things with those. Sea urchin's another one that not everyone loves. It's kind of a unique.
I have to laugh at that because I remember one sushi restaurant. I got to know them. Like, you have to try this uni. I thought it tasted like sewage myself.
Right, it's not for everyone. It's a
Sea urchin
strange-
ceviche, I think, is that one dish.
Yeah.
That I saw prepared. Other than that, I hadn't really seen it before.
I know
Haven't
I've
tried
had
it myself.
monkfish liver, which was really
Yes. We actually have monkfish liver coming in next week.
It's got a pronounced flavor. That really
yeah.
does.
It's almost like foie gras if you
It's,
sear it and do it
rich,
correctly.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really rich and quite
Well,
delicious.
For people out there that have never had tongue before, it is fantastic. Or
Yeah.
not tongue and heart too.
Well, especially they chop it up and put it in a taco. You put
Yeah,
anything in a
makes it
taco,
Well, I
it's
admit,
delicious.
I think it's presentation because I remember my mom really loved tongue.
Yeah.
So I remember as a kid, though, going in the refrigerator and seeing a tongue.
Oh my gosh.
And that's sort of, you know how you get that where it's, ooh, but it is very good, though.
It's old school.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just like
Like the
any other
trotters.
muscle you
Oh,
eat.
yeah.
The knuckles. Yeah.
What's the difference if you're eating an arm muscle or a leg muscle or the tongue muscle? I mean,
Yeah.
you're
Well,
eating part
Whatever
of an animal.
conceived notion you
Yeah.
have. In
And
your,
like
constructed in your
the
head.
first time I ever had beef heart, my cousin made it. He marinated it in, I think, teriyaki sauce and grilled it.
Mm-hmm.
It only takes like 2-3 minutes to grill because it's such a lean meat.
And I know you've had marrow here because you've had marrow, right?
Yeah, it's like meat butter.
Yeah.
Marrow is
Yep.
meat butter.
That's
beef
what I
butter.
call it, steak butter.
Yeah, we have that on the menu right now.
But that heart, it was like really soft beef jerky. It was really good, and everybody ate it. And then he told them what it was, and they still ate it.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It it's something like if you can get over the initial shock factor that hey, this was the lifeblood of an animal, it's fine. It's delicious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, do you have a favorite, though, of food in particular for yourself?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard.
It
Well,
is a
yes,
tough
we have
one.
to be
We get
difficult
that
here.
question. What's good? What's good? What do you like?
Like, well,
It
if we
depends
didn't
on
like
my
it, it
mood.
wouldn't be on the
And I
menu.
admit
Right,
I don't like
everything's
those
good.
questions with what's your all-time
I
favorite.
love like cheese. I could
Me
live
too.
on like
Cheese.
baguette and really funky cheeses forever. That's like my weakness.
Yeah.
Plus French fries with any sort of like mayo-based sauce. That's a weakness.
And
Janine
I was
is
gonna
a
say, do you
French
have-
fry monster.
Like, I love
There's
Oh,
a
yes, we
French
do.
fry monster for the Cookie
Yeah.
Monster. Janine, we get the French fry.
Really healthy diet. French
Yes,
fries
well,
and
you know,
cheese.
is that your guilty pleasure, though,
Yeah.
with beef fries? Because I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
back in the day, way back when we were, like, in our teens, but we got it illegally, like getting plates after Dublin.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for French fries.
Yeah, I am, too.
I'm not a sweet person. Like if you put a piece of cake in front of me or French fries, like I'm totally going for
No, I
French
said that
fries.
I know
over
a
the
lot of
holidays
people like
as well.
that.
I don't
French
know
fries for
if I care
dessert.
about
Then more the
desserts like
salty
cheeses and stuff.
sweet potato fries.
But that's fun. That's
What about you, Ben? What's your
Yeah, come on.
I love
weaknesses?
pasta. I like a good red sauce, some good meatballs, just hearty comfort food. I like a good grilled cheese and homemade tomato soup.
Oh yeah.
But I'd probably say, yeah, pasta is my weak point.
Yeah, there's a lot of, you could do so much with it, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's a universal food.
Yeah, there's so many different. I mean, bucatini,
Yeah.
farfalle,
My mom's lasagna
radiatori.
too.
Yeah, lasagna. That's
Yeah.
another good one.
My
you can
mom's
make.
lasagna and the lasagna at Rocco, like
Oh,
I,
the
Oh,
lasagna
yeah.
Rocco is.
oh,
Incredible.
so good.
But now, for the design
Unparalleled.
here as well, did you do all this yourself, I think?
Yeah.
I remember that, because I remember when you were putting it together.
Yeah, this was a hair salon before, so there was some structural things we couldn't move, and it was kind of a weird collaboration of walls and things that were here, and we kind of built it around what we were given.
And I forget, what does Avvino mean?
We shortened a wine term Avvinare, which means to rinse with wine. So it's a process of preparing glassware and decanters for a proper wine service. So for example, if you went in your kitchen cupboard and pulled out a wine glass and you smelled it, it would smell like cedar or wood or soap, or it would smell like something.
Yeah.
So if you take the wine you're about to drink, pour like a half ounce in it, swirl it around the glass, alcohol is a natural cleanser, dump it down the drain, then smell your glass, it's only going to smell like that wine. So it essentially cleanses it.
So kind
there's
of like when you make like a martini and you put some
like the vermouth in the
there.
glass.
Yeah.
Similar concept, yeah.
Oh, I knew you said that before, but I just...
It's more common in Europe than it is here. A lot of places we go to in Europe, it's fairly standard. That's how they serve your wine. They will take a little bit of it and they'll rinse everyone's glass at the table and they'll dump that wine out and then serve
I remember we at one time coming from Soviet Union, it was the Soviet Union time to Warsaw, they gave you, it's like a glass, they put a consomme in it, like a raspberry, then they put Polish potato vodka in it, because it was like rocket fuel almost, literally, if you drank it straight.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad enough then. And then they don't tell you they close the bathrooms on the train like at midnight. So we're like, I'm holding my friend by the neck, going outside the car, and everything.
What?
It was quite the trip. It was like we were trying. And
They
the
should
Soviet
close the
Union
bathrooms
fell
at midnight.
shortly after, so I take sort of a blame for that. But I remember that because that's the way they would always serve it. They said you don't want to have this unless it's diluted. So that was
That Polish potato vodka will hurt you.
yes, it's very interesting. But
It's amazing what you can do with potatoes. Well, I'm looking, man. There's some booze in here, man. I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot out there.
A couple 2-tree bottles.
yeah, 2-tree couple.
Yeah.
But I'm looking. There's, all kinds of different stuff. We got a good bourbon shelf over there with a lot of stuff that I either have in my house or want in my house.
and for us, for Scotch,
Yeah, like Sazerac is one of my favorite ryes. And every time I see it at the store, I buy like 2-3 bottles because it always goes away for a while.
what would be
Gotta stock
one
up in the winter.
Oh, I do.
in terms of alcohol? What
think
would
I've
be something you
four.
would call probably really good, but not a lot of people really order it and would think of it as being good?
Well, bourbons are really hot right now. Still real hot. Ryes have made a huge outing at bars. So probably 8, 9, 10 years ago, rye was not a thing, and recently, all sorts of good products out there. We like to use Rittenhouse. It's a great rye for the money. We got some other higher end ryes and things. We just got a Maryland style rye in, which is a little bit softer.
Yeah.
I asked this bartending question because having worked at bars for years, do you ever get somebody come in to ask for that weird drink that nobody orders anymore?
Yes.
Yeah, once
Like
in a
a
while.
Brandy Alexander.
Right, or a lime Ricky, or
Oh, lime Ricky.
There's all sorts of there's arrows that every bartender should have in their quiver. Obviously, on our cocktail list, we're not going to put a Cosmo on there because people, should know how to make a Cosmo. That should be pretty self-explanatory. People will come and say, well, there's Moscow Mule isn't on your cocktail list. Can you make them off? Absolutely, we can make
Yeah,
a
it's
Moscow
just
Mule. But
vodka and
on the cocktail list, those are generally just kind of recommendations. So you can go outside, your wheelhouse and try something new.
Because we would get some hilarious sometimes what we would get. It would always be something with Drambuie. That would be one of those where you never
Like a
heard
rusty-
about
rusty
it.
nail
Rusty
scotch
nail,
Drambuie,
yeah.
yeah.
My
Drambuie's
dad-
delicious.
My dad is a huge
I know, I had my
Drambuie.
rusty nails back in the college days. So
Or no, yeah. What the hell? I was at this bar, and I'm blanking on the name of the one in Chicago, but I ordered a Manhattan, and the first question he asked me was, "What kind of rye do you want in it?"
Right.
I said, "Okay, I'm in a good place." And I said, "Well, what's your house rye?" Templeton.
Nice.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right,
That's a great rye.
I am good.
But all I have to say is, if you haven't been here, you have to come out here.
I know.
And I
Thanks,
can't
guys.
recommend that enough.
I'm looking happy hour specials. I'm coming for a $4 Reuben.
Oh, try that punch she puts out sometimes. That's
Yeah,
this
pu-
summer we did
we
different
do a
punches.
sangria and a punch. Yeah.
they're
In
really
the
incredible.
Spring, summer,
They're
fall.
really interesting. But thanks for having us
Yeah,
here.
no,
Yeah,
thank you
thanks
so
for
much
having
for
us.
You
coming
want
in.
to do a little
Plug,
info for
yeah,
people? Yeah,
plug in,
plugs.
plug whatever you
plugs.
want.
Oh my
I need hair
gosh.
plugs. You could plug the restaurant.
I don't know. Come see us. We're open Tuesday through Saturday evenings. We do private events on Sundays and Mondays. And here's a little secret that we haven't told the public yet. We'll tell you first. You guys are looking at these blueprints right here.
It's not a okay.
We're
I always
built-
think of mad
I
scientists
know.
or
We just
something.
got approved. We're building out a kitchen at a venue called the Wilder Room, which is at 120 East Avenue, the old Rochester Club. It's
Oh,
a
Oh, yeah, yeah,
beautiful,
yeah.
beautiful space. So we're going to be doing a lot of catering there for weddings and private events. So
Nice.
that's a big thing in the pipeline for us in the
I've
upcoming
been.
year.
Do you have any I know that horrible day for the Valentine's Day is coming and all that. Do you have anything coming up around that, or you said a wine tasting?
We have a wine dinner February 4th, which is a Monday. We're going to be featuring some wines from Vienne. We visited a winery just below Lyon when we were in France, so some Northern Rhone varietals. So that's 5 courses with wine pairings for $85. And then Valentine's Day it's a crazy weekend. That Thursday, Friday, Saturday we'll be cranking.
That's when I sit with my bottle of scotch and watch my Bloody Valentine.
Yeah,
That's what we'll be doing Sunday.
That's
After.
my
that's
tradition.
definitely after the holidays. I know we're crazy. When I came in, I remember having to barely find a parking spot, which
Yeah.
is good. Very
It's
good.
Yeah, December is a very busy. December and February are our busiest months.
But that's good though. And this address, because I want to make sure you
25.
say
I
it.
looked it up just to make sure. 2541 Monroe Ave.
Someone's doing a good
I was
job.
afraid I was
I'm
gonna. I've
prepared.
been here, but I know how to get here. But it's like go down Monroe when you see the sign, turn, and you'll find it. And that's-
2541 Monroe
that's
Avenue.
fine.
Website is avvino.com.
AvvinoRochester.com.
And you're on
Two
Facebook.
V's.
It's 2 V's.
Two V's.
AVVINO Rochester.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
And look
all
at the
that fun
menu.
stuff.
You'll be very, very happy you did.
Oh,
The
yeah.
problem always is, what do you want to get?
Bring friends so you can get a little something for things to share.
Yeah.
We'll get
Try
to play
everything.
something different.
Very good, and thanks a lot, and
Thanks for having us.
cheers.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers, guys.